Hey there, seekers of spiritual, tangible results.
Welcome to the No Nonsense Zone, where common sense meets the spiritual. I'm Jason Parks.
I'm Emma Romano, your unapologetically real spiritual guides.
We don't sugarcoat, we don't dance around the woo-woo, we just deliver the raw, kick-ass truth.
Join us each episode as we dive deep into the mystical, cut through the bullshit, and show you how to manifest the tangible results you've been craving for.
No fluff, no filters, just two mentors on a mission to elevate your mind, body and soul.
Get ready to transform your life like never before. This is Soul Aligned Results, where spirituality meets the real world. Welcome everybody, this is Emma Romano and the amazing
Jason Parks.
Yay, it's a Soul Aligned Results. This podcast is going to piss people off.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, so the topic of this podcast today is the dangers of getting yourself out of the shit. All right? Now, what I mean by this is people can be in a really bad way, in a low way, and they'll go, yeah, I just want to get out of the shit. I just want to get out of the shit. So what's the dangers of that? The dangers are just getting out of the shit is not doing well. And this is the issue, right? I want this to land for people. I really hope I explain this. I might explain it a few ways because I really want it to land. I have friends and they have shit lives. I'm not kidding. Fucking terrible marriages. They're not connected to their kids, shit lives. They drink a lot at night, all kinds of drama happening. They have shit lives. They ring me up. Emma, I've got a shit life. Yep, I know. What are you going to do about it? And then they'll do something and I'll ring them a week later, go, what did you do about it? Now I'll give them a number for a therapist or, podcast, books, whatever. Listen, I haven't rung that person, but I'm feeling so much better now. And they go, I'm out of the shit. No, you're not. You might be out of the shit. You might be feeling better than what you were feeling last week, but are you actually out of the shit? And this is the dangers. When you want to get out of the shit, you're still in the frequency of shit. You're just feeling better than you did the day before. And
That's
then
a huge point.
It's a massive point, right? But you're still in that
Yep.
frequency and the energy of just got to get out of the shit. What about if people went, not only am I going to get out of shit, but I'm going to thrive into opulence, connection, love, happiness, thinking about my future, investing in myself, investing in my family, joy, laughter in the house. What about if I woke up and I didn't feel anxious? What if I was going to bed at night and I actually felt happy about my day? What if I looked in the mirror and went, you're doing all right, dolls, instead of, that's shit, or let's just get out of the shit. It's massive.
Yeah. It's the big difference, isn't it, between, on one level, the haves and the have-nots.
Explain the haves and the have-nots.
Well, really, there are really only two classes of people.
Mm-hmm.
There are people whose lives are doing well, and there's people whose lives are not doing well.
Yep.
You're happy with what you got, or you're not happy with what you got.
Exactly.
And it's really, when we say haves and have-nots, we usually tend to mean about people with a lot of wealth versus people who are, in poorer circumstances. But that's not it. I said, you meet plenty of people. I've got a story, actually. Can I share a story, Emma, if that's all right?
Yeah, go for it.
I used
Story
to
time
work.
with Jason Parks.
Story time. So when my life started to change, I started working with principals, I started to get some traction. And one of the first things that happened was that I got a job working in a service station.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy that used to walk in there, and he wasn't very nice. And the reason he wasn't very nice was because he considered himself to be very, very important. So you know what I mean? He's driving a car, 60 to 80 grand range car.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing about $2,000 worth of clothes and shoes, and God knows what his watch was worth. And he'd walk in and he'd get about 6 feet away from the counter, and he would just throw money at you.
Wow.
And he just flickered. It was just like bang, this level of contempt that oozed off this guy. And I remember it was just like, that's not a big deal. I don't have to take any of it personally, so I'm just going to keep working because this is what I'm doing to increase the lot for my family.
Mhm.
So for me, this is a fantastic job. He doesn't think my job's worth anything. That's why he acts the way he does.
Mhm.
Said, but for me, this is the turnaround. So I was always excited about work and grateful to have the work.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there with this situation anyway. I remember one night, this is when I had got a second job. That second job was paying me more than 10 times what I was getting paid working in the servo. And I
Wow.
and I had that paycheck, and that paycheck was had just come in, and then it was time for me to go and work in the servo. And my wife said, why don't you just take this paycheck from the servo and use it for pocket money? And I'm like, oh, that'd be great. So every minute I'm at work, I'm just like, yeah, this is more pocket money for me. And so I'm
Mm.
just super excited. Anyway, this guy fueled up his car, and I say that loosely. And then he came in and he didn't throw money this night. What he did was he sat there, and I had to sit there very calmly with a straight face as I watched him go through 3 maxed out credit cards for $6.86 worth of petrol.
Whoa.
Right. So, and I remember it. I was thinking, isn't that interesting? I said, this
Mm.
guy is worth 0.
Mhm.
His happiness is 0. I said, me, I said, I was debt free at that time. I said,
Mhm.
I didn't have much income. I said, well, actually, that changed that week, but
Yeah.
I was doing well. But it was a whole different ballgame. So that idea about have and have not is don't let the outer trappings fool you. It said it's about quality of life. Either you're really
Exactly.
thrilled or you're not. Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what? There's a few excuses that really piss me off when people say, "Yeah, but I'm out of the shit. I'm better now." And I'll
Mm.
ask them, "Go, but are you happy?" No, but I'm out of the shit. I go, "Yeah, but are you happy though?" And they
Yeah.
can't answer you. And then they say this, "But my life is better than so and so's,"
Oh, yeah.
or "I'm doing better than mum and dad did." I'm like, "Fuck, really? You're going there?" Let's
Yeah.
pull in all the excuses of sitting in your shit.
Yeah.
This is the dangers. This is such the danger of people going, yeah, I just want to get out of the shit. Because
Yeah.
people who just want to get out of the shit, they will never, ever flourish. They'll never change. They'll never do work on themselves. They'll never want to do work on. They will always put other people and they'll go, so and so needs to fix up. Like my husband needs to be better.
Mm.
My husband needs to change. It's not me. Oh, it's my kids need to do this and not me. They'll have the kids that are psychologists, the husband's on pills, all kinds of stuff, but they're just sitting there in their shit. Yeah, but I'm doing a better job than so and so. Don't ever compare yourself to someone who did such a fucked up job that you think being in the shit is a good place to be.
That's right.
You
It's not much of a metric, is it? You
know what I
know?
mean? What are your measurements? Like, what are you measuring your life on?
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing better than your parents, you really fucked it. We shouldn't just be doing better than our parents. We should be doing extra, what's that word? Exponentially? That,
Exponentially.
yeah, that word that Jason just said. We should be doing that way, way better than our parents because look at the resources that we have at our fingertips here.
Yeah.
Our
It's
parents
true.
didn't have that. We have everything, literally all you don't even need a computer. Just pick up a freaking phone and Google something and it's there.
That's right.
So this is my thing for those listeners who are you still listening? I know I've probably a few turned off and they're probably going, I think she's talking about me. Yes, I am. So I am talking. If you think I'm talking about you, yes, I am. Not
Yes.
that I'm talking about anyone specifically. I'm just talking about people who just get out of the shit. And you know what's going to happen? If you look back on the timeline, it's the same stuff. It'll be the same time. It'll be the same shit day in, day out. You'll just get out of it. You'll go have a few drinks in a week and we're okay now. And then Monday it'll be shit again. And then you feel all the way that until Friday and you have a few drinks and then it'll be okay because you just numbed yourself out of your existence. You completely gone to oblivion. And then it's shits all again on Monday. And it's just the same cycle. And this is my question. What the fuck is it going to take for you to realize your freaking worth in this world? Like You got to imagine, like, we have been born and we're one out of billions of sperm, and like the timing for a sperm to get to an egg is crazy, right? And then look, we won the swim. We're here, we've got it. What are you going to do with it? You can't tell me you want to live your existence just by getting out of the fucking shit. But so many people are proud of that. So many, that is their whole entire existence. Yeah, but I'm not in the shit this week. I'm all right now. Are you? And what are you going to do about it? What does it take for you to actually do the change? God, really getting angry about this, aren't I? I need to calm down.
Yeah, you're getting into it. But but you should, because it's really like we all hit that point. We all hit that point where we say, how many more times am I going to go round and round in this shitty roundabout? At what
And
point
it's
am I going to turn left instead of right?
And it's so bloody boring for your friends.
That is true.
It is such a drainer. It is so boring because your friends will say the same thing day in. Here's the recipe. Here's your offer. And you don't take it. And then it's the same complaint again. Here it is. It's like sitting there going, I'm really, really thirsty. I haven't drunk for 5 days and I'm so thirsty. Here's a glass of water. And you take the glass of water and you go, oh, thank you. And you take a little sip. Oh, I'm not thirsty now, I'm okay. But you're holding the rest of the water in your hand.
That's right.
Whereas if you just drank the full freaking glass of water, your whole body would be nourished, your brain would feel better, your liver would feel better, your kidneys would feel better, your skin would look better, everything would be better. But oh no. It's just, let me just take a little sip so I can keep out of the shit. And then there's the next week, you ring your mates, go, I'm in the worst relationship. Here's that fucking glass of water again. Do you want it?
Yeah.
And it's a drainer. It's such a drainer. So I'm going to ask those, listeners, do you know someone like this? And how freaking annoying is it? Or is this you? And if it's you and you're triggered to shit right now, good on you. I'm so glad, because it's the people who do this and go, oh, that's not me. They're the really bad ones, right? They're the ones who are just never going to get.
They're chronic, yeah. Well, your mic's gone.
It's fantastic.
Oh,
sorry, guys, we had a glitch with the old microphone there, so hopefully it doesn't disturb your listening too much. Did you have anything else you want to say about people, that the problem of people getting out of the shit?
I think the thing is that it is a fundamental part of the spiritual journey. Everybody has, I mean, that's the hero's journey, isn't it? They start off, everything's going okay, then they go into the shit and they have to climb out of that shit. And by doing that, they become the hero. And for us, so we're always going to have something like that. And it'll come to you in a lot of different ways. And often the more you're trying to do this work to better yourself and better your quality of relationships that you're having with yourself and others, so which is what spiritual practice is. So when you're doing that, well, ultimately you're going to keep hitting different levels of shit. The problem is the loop.
Yes.
So if it's a loop, what's happening there is we have certain kind of loops in our life, and one of them is like sleep. So every night I need to sleep. I'm not addicted to it. I just need to sleep because that's what the body requires to keep functioning. Okay, I've got a loop about food. Every day I need to eat because the body requires it to do functioning. Well, when you need constant drama and shit in your life, that's the pain body's nutrition.
Yes.
That's the pain body saying, oh, I need to eat. So because I need to eat, what I need is more drama, more shit. And if it gets used to McDonald's every night and it puts you in that loop and you just go around week after week after week, there's a few things. I was talking to a client today and we are just talking a bit about cannabis use. And one of the reasons I don't like cannabis use, I don't care if people use it, that's fine. But there is a problem with it. And the problem is it makes the intolerable tolerable. You can sit in that shit loop forever if you just pull a couple of cones. And then every time it starts to become uncomfortable, just have a cone and you'll be fine. And
Mhm.
I've seen it with people in like with severe homelessness, things like that. You see it. It is like really the drug of choice across the entire population of homelessness. There's other things that are harder and sadder stories about it, but that is not even considered to be a drug. It's just considered to be a basic staple of life. But that's because if you don't have that numbing you, you don't have the impetus. Now we have this in our life. We call that they're vices, and their whole purpose is to take the pressure off. So your vice might be scrolling Facebook. Your vice
Mhm.
might be um, looking at Netflix or eating Tim Tams or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. If you've got something in your life that when you start to feel uncomfortable, you reach for it to take that sense of dissatisfaction away, you're actually just slowing down the opportunity to break through.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And what we see with these people that are caught in these loops, and we've all been them. So I say these people, I mean, shit, I
Yeah,
spent
us.
decades. Yeah,
Yes,
they're us.
same.
Right. So our loops are a bit bigger, but at the end of the day, said we've all got to deal with them. We all have to deal with vices. We have to deal with the uncertainty and the discomfort of change.
Hmm.
And the more you avoid that, the more momentum it picks up. And if you just keep going, what happens is people outgrow you. That's a different level of pain that most people haven't taken into account when they start this, is that they're comfortable in a relationship
Mm.
and that relationship may be mediocre at best. And I say that because the results that it gives people, they're okay. It's
Yep.
okay.
Mm.
Nothing worse than saying, "Here's a relationship." It's okay. Wow. Wow.
Oh my
You know,
God, I would rather be on my own.
yeah. And on one level, people should be. If the best you can pull up
Yes.
is okay, it's like, what are you doing there?
Yep.
You know? So it's
And
really,
what are you trying to prove to people by staying in it?
yeah, this is
That's a
often,
big one.
yeah,
That's a big one.
yeah.
And it's the same as staying in your shit. What are you trying to prove?
That's right.
To who?
Yeah. Well, at least I'm better than Bob.
Like, yeah, yeah.
I before I went to China, um, going back in the 90s, I remember I was out walking. I had a friend that we used to go walking together a lot, and we just walk
Mhm.
and talk for hours. And I remember this poor guy, this one night, another friend had given him the speech about basically how I shouldn't be trying to go to China. I shouldn't be trying to go and do what I wanted to do with Shaolin.
Mm.
Really, I should have stayed and just done a butchering apprenticeship and whatever. And of course, this friend had bought it hook, line, and sinker, and he
Hmm.
very well-meaningly offered me that advice. Well, that poor bugger was on the end of 4 hours of complete lose your fucking mind ranting, right,
Mm.
from me because I just totally lost my shit. And the reason I lost my shit was very simple. I won't do it for 4 hours. I'll just do it in like one
Just do it.
sentence.
Just go for it. Couple
Yeah,
couple of seconds. Go.
yeah. That person had defined themselves as being better than me. And the
Yeah.
fact that my life was going in a direction, I was following my dream, and they were sitting in a dead end office job and they were unhappy with it. So that threatened their sense of safety.
Mm.
So it was important to them that they got as much support as possible to make sure I don't accomplish my dream. And as you can imagine, when you're really going after something and you really have committed to doing that, and your soul has informed you that this is what you need to do, when people want to get in your way, said it gets ugly. It gets
Mm.
really ugly when they do that.
Yep.
Yeah, and it should. It should get ugly.
100%. I wish it got ugly when people get in their own way.
Yeah, that's a really great point.
That's like, what does it take? And I
Yeah.
think this is why it's so passionate for me at the moment, is because I have friends doing this, I have family members doing it, and I have clients. So, I'm sharing relationship sovereignty this week. And I had this woman who said, I want to come, I want to do it. I'm like, sure. And then she goes, no, I think I might do something else. I'm like, you do it. My job is not to convince you to come and do one of my trainings. Right? That's not my job. Right? When I'm here, when and if you are ready. She rings me yesterday. She goes, no, I definitely want to do it. I went, too late. We're full. You'd have to join on Zoom. And she's in Melbourne here. She goes, but I want to come. I'm too late. I can't fit anybody else in. Literally, I've got 2 trestle tables in there to fit the people. You can't come. And she's like, oh, well, what if I come to something else? I'm like, yep, sure, no problem. There's this and this and this. I was telling him about our Bali retreat. She goes, yeah, okay, I want my husband and I to come to the Bali retreat. Fantastic. I rang her today. She goes, oh, no, we're doing much better today. Thanks. And I went, what? She goes, yeah, we're doing better today. I went, so you just got out. I said, you just got yourself out of the shit. She goes, yeah. I went, great. You ring me when you really need some work.
Yeah.
And I just left it because it's not my job to convince anyone to be in their greatness. It's just not my job.
No,
My job is to help you get there. My job is not to convince you to get there. It's too exhausting and it pisses me off and it exhausts my resources and my energy. And I'd rather put those resources and energy into the people who go, let's do this.
Yeah, exactly right.
Right? And those people, they freaking hell, they do well. Anyway, as you know. And I think this is why it's such a thing at the moment. What the fuck is going on that you think it's okay, people, just to get yourselves out of the freaking shit? Like, thrive, have fun, have a really opulent life. You know, have the most amazing time.
Pretty scary though.
Yeah.
That's
and
really
what's the most scariest thing about it is the pain body doesn't want to change.
No, not at all.
But if we just went, it's okay, pain body. I know you're scared. We've got you. God's got you. Soul's got you. We're all good here. And just for a week, even a week, just see what it's like on the other side of it. And just see how freaking amazing it feels, how well you sleep, how better your gut health is, how better your whole health is, your mindset, your love for others, your love for yourself. Just see the difference. And also, which is the craziest thing ever, the opportunities and the money that comes out of nowhere that you didn't even know was there, all of a sudden just start coming and pouring into you because you're at this frequency. You're at this different frequency of, I can have better. Life is better. So when you go, I can have better, life is better, and you action the better, you get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Action is the key word.
Yeah, it just pours in. And that's the thing. Not everyone. No, that's not true. Not at all. There are just so many people, though. This is really pissing me off. There's so many people that just go, yeah, but I can't do it. I've done so many things. No, you haven't done, because if you'd done, you would have.
Yeah.
You've sat there, you've read a book, you've listened to a podcast, you've gone to some courses, you might have done therapy, but you haven't actioned the new identity of opulence or the new identity of fun or the new identity of I've got my shit together or whatever it might be. The doing part is the part that most people don't want to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me on my high horse and my 2 bobs worth before we go. Jason, is there anything else that you would like to share with everyone before we wrap up here? Thanks, guys, for listening to my rant, by the way. And I hope it's hit home, and I hope it's inspired you to go, maybe I can be better. Because there's no maybe about it. You absolutely can. You can have the most incredible freaking life. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you've come from. You can have it. I promise you. Sorry, Jason, go for it. What did you want to share?
You just said it. We want you to thrive.
Yes.
It's just let that word sit with you for a minute. It's like thrive. What would my life look like if I was thriving instead of just getting by? Because whatever that is, it's not existing because you're attached to getting by. Yeah.
Yeah, like cross out that contract with getting by, rip it up, cross it out, burn that contract, because and I got to tell you, we're not here to be poor. We're not here to be struggling. We're not here to be in shit relationships. We're not here to be in ill health. That's why it's so hard. And when you sit there and your action towards opulence, thriving, love, connection, it's really so much easier. It just feels easier. It is easier. So guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Please share. We don't get paid for these. It's just from our love, because we just want people, as Jason said, we want people to thrive. And so I did kick some butts today, but soz, not soz. We love you. Please check us out on solidlineresults.com. We've got a website, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got TikTok, Solid Line Results. Private message us, email us, let us know what you want us to talk about, what you're thinking of the podcast. Hey, I'm getting lots of private messages and emails, by the way, saying how people are so inspired, and they keep telling me to pass that on to you, Jason. So this is me passing that on to you right now.
That's lovely. Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're glad we can help.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you all.